Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to Steve Jackson's Appointment with F.E.A.R. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this series, or those who have who think they're in a time warp right now, let me go ahead and explain myself. A while back, I did a playthrough of this interactive comic book, very similar to the Choose Your Own Adventure books we read when we were younger. The point of the game is very simple. You play a superhero who has one of 4 powers, and you try and stop a villainous organization named F.E.A.R from meeting and taking control of a defense satellite which is going to enslave the world. Now, I played this with 3 characters, each with different names and different powers, and I failed each time. The first 2 times I couldn't stop the F.E.A.R meeting, and the 3rd time, my character who had the ability to read minds and telepathy and whatnot, he was actually crushed to death by a mummy, which put the nail in the coffin, quite literally and figuratively, to the playthrough. So I kind of just went ahead and let it slide. Now, one of my very loyal viewers by the name of Vosaros, or Vosaros, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, got a hold of me and let me know there's a difference in the format of the game than I originally thought. My original thought was there's just a set circumstances that lets you get clues as to where the F.E.A.R meeting is, and it's completely randomly generated each time you play. It's actually not the case. There's certain things that you have to do with each hero that are musts to get the clues for the F.E.A.R meeting, and they're different per what powers you choose. Because certain people who interact with situations with certain powers do it a lot better than those with other types of powers. So I decided to go ahead and give this another go. Vosaros let me know gave me hints in order to beat the Superman superhero character, and I was able to play around with it and eventually beat it. But I really wanted some redemption with the Gadgeteer, the Batman character. So much so that I have actually remade the character that I originally started when I played the game the first time, The Cure. By the way, you do not want to know how long I've been clicking this randomizer to get the Cure's name to pop up. So I have worked for this playthrough already. I have him looking exactly like he did during the first episode, and I figure since he's a Gadgeteer, when he realized that things were going bad and that F.E.A.R was going to take over, he activated a time portal and came back here, and he's going to make it all right again. Kind of like Quantum Leap or the last episode of Mighty Max. So let's go ahead and rock this out. And let's get started. Present day. It is morning, and you sit at your kitchen table and glance out the window to see the sun rising over the Titan City skyline. You smile. Good morning, apartment. I'm ready to start the day. And in no way knowing that I've experienced this all before. Titan City is safe because you devoted your life to fighting crime and keeping thugs and villains off the streets. You are the Cure, upholder of justice, and you have taken an oath to serve in the fight against crime in Titan City. Time for breakfast. Your robotic laser oat cutter dings and you grab the steaming bowl of porridge that it's created for you. You sit down to breakfast. Suddenly your radio transmission decryptor crackles to life. F.E.A.R meeting preparations begin in Titan City today. All high-level agents are to attend. Our scheme for world domination cannot fail. Atushki out. Vladimir Atushki, the titanium cyborg, is a cybernetically enhanced supervillain and F.E.A.R's leader. He is half man, half machine, and all danger. So the primary mission's added, stop the F.E.A.R meeting. And I've been experimenting with this guy, and I think I know how to do it pretty flawlessly, so we'll definitely get some redemption, provided I survive the attempt. Suddenly you hear your crime watch beeping in your bedroom. Let's go ahead and pick up the crime watch. The Cure has no need of coffee. Your crime watch gives you crime updates around Titan City. Use it to fight crime around the city and discover new clues which bring you closer to F.E.A.R. And each clue finds you a luck point. And you check the latest crime updates. Now this one I believe is randomly generated. The Alchemists are planning a series of raids on the Cleveland Bank. Firstly on a branch at 4 a.m. and they'll also be targeting a branch on the corner of 128th Street and 10th Avenue. So that's the first one. Sounds like it's going to be a busy day in Titan City today. Not only are you the Cure, but you also have a day job as a reporter at the Titan Times. Your job consists of... Oh no! I'm late for work! And where do you go from here? I go ahead and leave for my alter ego's office job. Titan City. Wearing your incognito disguise, you head to work. With fear on your mind, you note that Titan City feels particularly tense this morning. You're startled by the beeping of your crime watch. Another crime alert? That fedora and glasses still crack me up. News update detected. Now, this right here is kind of paramount to your character. This is the big clue that you're supposed to use later in the game in order to help you find a piece of the F.E.A.R meeting. 3 villains' identities have been revealed. Sylvia Frost is the Ice Queen, and Richard Storm is the Tormentor. Finally, Marcus Buletta is Dr. Macabre, the villainous surgeon. Buletta has been planning a jailbreak, and he's likely to rob a chemist immediately for supplies. So there we got that clue. Now, that is actually somewhat a red herring for this character, I found out, and I'll explain as we go on. As you think about the information you've just received, an argument interrupts your thoughts. I won't ask you again. Mind your manners, you beast. The newspaper vendor shouts something about a robbery. It's hard to hear him over the cacophony of horns. Looks like today won't be just another day. The car horns are getting louder and angrier. And where do we go from here? Now, we do have that clue about the chemist, and I think that this was in the playthrough, that the chemist, we can get information about that on the paper. So let's go ahead and check the paper for news on the robbery. You walk over to the newspaper vendor. He shouts about a brazen bank robbery early in the morning. A robbery, Perhaps I should get a paper. Perhaps you should. Crowds of men and women mill past him on their way to work. What will you do now? Let's go ahead and buy a newspaper to find out about the robbery. Alchemists in Cleveland screams a headline which immediately catches your eye. The devious gang entered a branch of the Cleveland Bank on 113th Street at 4 a.m. According to the paper, they locked the security guard in the vault on a time lock. Those scoundrels, they made off with safe deposit boxes too. I wonder how much was taken. The paper goes on to say it is unknown how much was stolen, but claims from the owners of the deposit boxes are now coming in. Apart from the cash, many valuable papers had been stolen. And now it sounds like a job for the Cure, so let's go ahead and try to solve the puzzle, Pat. And there we go. Gives us 2 hero points for solving it on the first try, and hopefully we will rack up the hero points with this playthrough. The alchemists are on the move. It's time for their next heist. If you go now, you can catch them in the act. 128th Street and 10th Avenue at the Cleveland Bank. My information was correct. As you arrive from the junction, sounds of a commotion are coming from the bank. And we get 5 hero points for hitting the nail on the head. There are no signs of police, and you look through the glass door. 2 men dressed like professors are rummaging through the cashier's drawers and stuffing notes into sacks. You need to call these guys the Wileys. Another is grasping a test tube rack containing 5 tubes of liquid. He's threatening the customers. Stay still, or you'll get a taste of our latest chemical concoction. The alchemists. And where do you go from here, Cure? Now, I have beaten these guys before, so we're going to wait to nab them as they leave the bank. Bursting through the door and leaping on the one with the chemicals is not a good idea. You wait anxiously for the alchemist to emerge from the bank. Passers-by are not aware of what is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing to see here. Move along. You manage to prevent anyone from entering while the robbery is in progress. However, you cannot avoid the curiosity of the public. Yeah, just look at that costume. A small boy tugs on his mother's arm. Mommy, look! It's Cure! Can I ask for an autograph, Mommy? Please, Mommy? Can I? Quiet, kid. You'll alert the alchemists. So, Cure, what do you do now? Let's go ahead and hope the alchemists do not notice. I believe that'll be a skill check. Had the boy's cries alerted the alchemist. Let's test my skill. And we're successful. Thankfully, the gang is not noticed and they continue their illegal activity. Now, we can try out the sonic confuser when they emerge, but that's going to hurt them as well as innocent people, so we're not going to do that. We can engage them in a fight, that's what we're going to do, but first, it's time for some PR. We'll sign the autograph for the kid. As the alchemists have not been alerted, you do have a moment for the boy. Sure thing, lad. I'd be happy to give you an autograph. Wow, thanks! Cure is just the best! The mother hands you a pen and paper, and you quickly sign Cure and add a smiley face at the end. Aw. The boy is overjoyed with tears in his eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to show Jamie at school. Even the mother has been won over. Nice job, Kier. For a quick 2 hero points. Excuse me, madam. I have some criminals to attend to. Now we engage them in a fight as they emerge. As the alchemists leave the bank, you charge towards them. Your criminal activities end here, you fraudulent physicists. An interesting hypothesis, Kier. Yes, but does it carry any weight? Let's see what happens when I mix my fist with your faces. We'll be glad to see you back up your overblown claims with proof. It's like an episode of Mythbusters. Okay, Alchemist juggles the tube of nerve gas. Now I'm going to go ahead and just speed through this. He has a 6 stamp, so we're going to try and do the 6 damage attack. Trigger a bioengineered wrench. Nice. We went ahead and hit him. And that's 1 alchemist down. And now we have alchemist number 2. Now he has a stam of 7, so we're going to use a 4 damage. Engage a bioengineered robo-weasel. And we hit with the robo-weasel. Don't know what he would think about that. Take that, alchemist. And they keep missing, which is good. Those results were painful. Now he has only 3, so now power up a chemically enhanced pain ray. Nice. That's 2 alchemists down. And there's 1 left. And fortunately, he just has a stamina of 6, so we'll deploy a micro loudspeaker, and hopefully our luck holds out. Nice. The trio of fake scientists lay together in a pile. Seems that adding violence to criminals results in injustice. Oh, what an unexpected reaction. Or results in justice. And we just earned a F.E.A.R card. That's awesome. We're going to go ahead and just unwrap the card. Got the bane of our existence from our last playthrough. Using a nearby fire hose, you tie up the now unconscious science villains. Now take care of these meddlesome thieves. And we can let them go or contact the police. I don't even know why they have that as an option, so we'll go ahead and arrest them. You dust your hands satisfied. That should hold them until the police arrive. For a nice 4 hero points. A shame these brilliant minds are used for criminal gain. Think of the good they could do. At least they'll be put away for a long time, which will make your crime-fighting job easier. Within minutes, 2 police cars pull up. Oh, Kier, we can't thank you enough for dealing with this pesky gang. No problem, officer. A large, secure police van then arrives and the criminals are placed inside. They've been outsmarting us for months. We didn't really bond too well either. I guess we didn't have the right chemistry. Ha ha! With another job well done, you leave the bank. Just before you leave, you talk to one of the police officers who lives near Starker's Beach. There are reports of a sighting of a giant shark just off the beach. I see. I'd be very grateful if you could investigate it. I'll look into it. I actually have 2 children who swim there every weekend, and I'm obviously worried about their safety. Not to worry, officer. I'll keep all of the kids safe. You start to make your way towards Starker's Beach when... Of course, your crime watch would go off again. Parker Airport. Drat, that's in the complete opposite direction. Now, here's the interesting question. We have Starker's Beach or the airport. Now, for those of you who've seen the original playthrough, you know Parker Airport is where the Tormentor has hijacked a plane. Now, the Tormentor is in our clues, but that's somewhat of a red herring. We never have to deal with him. And we deal with him, but we don't get a clue for the F.E.A.R meeting out of it. So let's go ahead and head for the beach. And this pays dividends later, believe me. Everything seems to be normal when you arrive at Starker's Beach. Hundreds of families are sunning themselves and splashing about in the water. Barely dressed men and women are swaying alongside the walkway, enjoying the weather and the beach lifestyle. Suddenly, a single scream pierces the general hubbub. Shark! Shark! The reaction is immediate, as it would be. The bathers panic and flee from the water towards the beach in a human wave. Your action is immediate too. Now we'll go ahead and use one of the gadgets. You rush to the edge of the water and search the surface for the telltale fin of a shark. 30 meters out from the shore, you spot it. A monster swimming in towards the beach is a huge ripper shark. It is heading straight for a young boy who is still on his way back to the beach. What a nuisance. You could easily have seen the shark off with your omnidirectional electrifier, but with the boy in the way, it would be a risk using it. That was an odd wording for it. What now, Cure? Now, if we use the electrifier, it's going to kill the shark, but it's also going to kill the boy, too. So we're going to have to tackle the shark with my bare hands. And unfortunately, I do not have any shark-repellent bat spray. You plunge into the ocean as close to the toothy behemoth as possible. Treading water, you see the dark fin arc its way through the water towards you. You must save the boy quickly before the shark gets him. And now we're fighting a shark. The Ripper Shark has a stamina of 7, so we'll go ahead and switch on a chemically enhanced gadget phone. Ooh, we missed, unfortunately. And the shark did too, which is good. Let's try that again. Let's flip on a chemically enhanced Robo-Weasel. Robo-Weasel served us well last fight. There we go. And what are we doing here? Oh, he hit me in the left eye socket. For 2 points of damage. That's okay, though. 3 left. Now we'll use a servo-actuated fountain pen. Hopefully that works underwater. Apparently so. The Ripper Shark prepares for another attack. Gradually it slows, and then stops. It sinks deep into the murky depths. And another F.E.A.R card. Creature of Carnage. Having defeated the shark, you turn to the young boy who is splashing about in the water, terrified. If that shark was after making some friends, he certainly lost a chum today, young sir. Chum. He calms down and you lift him out of the sea, carrying him back to the beach. Nice. 5 hero points. His sobbing mother is waiting for him. Thank you. I was worried sick, but I should have known that the cure would rescue my boy. All part of the service, ma'am. Can I do anything for you in return for the life of my beautiful boy? You raise your hand to politely turn down any offers of a reward. My uncle runs a circus, and I'm sure I could organize the best seats for you. Thank you, ma'am, but there is really no... Nonsense! Here. She writes down a telephone number, 444-5666. Oh, that's... Huh. Call the Ringmaster, Captain Menagerie, anytime. He'd love to host you, I'm sure. She goes on and on about her Ringmaster uncle. You're eager to get away, but by this time, amateur photographers have surrounded you. Blah, 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 and he has a secret office underneath his lion's cage. My cousin Marlene swears he keeps his money and other important paperwork down there. Sounds fascinating. This information could be useful. And that's definitely needed for the cure, or for the cure's F.E.A.R clue. Being cured, though, I don't have to worry about telling you, right? By now, the boy's mother is being a pest, and you excuse yourself. With time rapidly passing from this endless conversation, you quietly slip away. With smoke bombs. Entering a change room, you change clothes and leave. So we'll check the crime watch. Silence, so nothing else is going on. And we can check over any clues that we found today, but we know what's going on here. And now we head for home. What a day. You slump into the chair in front of the TV and relax with a long, cold drink. Which apparently heals shark bite wounds. Your boss, Jonah White, will be livid when you turn up for work tomorrow. You'll have to invent some pretty convincing excuses. The next morning, you set off for work early. You decide to travel on the subway to make sure you get there on time. On the subway, you find the one seat that's free and are about to slump into it when... Help! Pickpocket! Great. Just what I needed. You force your way through the crowd on the busy train. As you reach the pickpocket's victim, your crime watch beeps. What now? Cowfield Dairy, fast. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The train is pulling into a station. It's only a block away from Cowfield Dairy. If you want to get there, get out now. Now, we can go ahead and head to the dairy. However, for the purposes of cure here, it's time to aid the pickpocket's victim. You rush up to a puny-looking bespectacled man who is shaking with fright. He points to a man running up through the next carriage. There! He's stolen my wallet! You race after him. No one else moves. They don't want to get involved. Now it's time to test the skill. And we chase him down. You gain ground and catch up with the pickpocket. You catch hold of his jacket as he runs out the door, and as you grab him, he spins round to face you and draws a knife. Pickpocket grins at you with a stamina of 6, so one shot with this should do it if we hit. Let's engage a spinning stumble-o-matic. Which misses, because he wasn't trying to run from us. However, we were able to dodge his knife. Now, a biomechanical loudspeaker. To the left nostril, missed. Maybe I need to aim for the ear. How about a micro blinker, whatever that does. There we go, right to the shin. And another F.E.A.R card. Dr. Macabre. With your final blow, the pickpocket collapses to the carriage floor. I keep on forgetting that this is made in England because of how they're the language with the carriage and whatnot. Commuters on the train spontaneously applaud. You stopped him! Thank you, sir! Haha, thank you, sir. You're almost as good as the cure! Huh, if only he knew that he was standing right in front of him. You go through the man's pockets to retrieve the wallet. What strange things he's carrying with him. Along with the wallet, you find a gum packet which contains a crumpled piece of paper, a tape cassette, and a map. The door opens and a security guard approaches. What's going on here? You only have a moment to grab one of these items. What will it be? Now, if I was playing the superpowered character, I would actually grab the cassette tape. But for the cure, the gum packet. I don't know who uses the map, but the gum packet is the way to go. With the gadgeteer. You study the gum packet. It's just an ordinary pack of fruity juice, but contains no gum. You look at the paper inside. This makes no sense at all. A few meaningless words are strung together. Is it some kind of code? If it is a code, it means nothing to you. You could take it home and run it through your decoding computer, and that's why the cure is so important with this. Any other character could grab this and have no idea what it is. However, this will take some time, and you ought to be getting to work. Now, what courageous action are you going to do next? Well, we'll go home and use the decoding computer. You change trains and head for home. At home, you examine the paper once more. Am I just wasting my time? After all, it's only a scrap of paper you found in a gum packet. How can I tell Jonah I'm late for work because I wanted to look at a piece of rubbish I found? Nevertheless, you take it into your study, enter the words as they are written, and let your computer try to make some sense of them. 10 minutes later, it's printed 3 possible messages. 1. Call the egg. You're wet behind the ears. 2. My newspaper is covered in plastic nodules. And 3. Idiot. F.E.A.R meeting address is 176th Street, not 178. Don't forget. Bam. So that's half of the F.E.A.R meeting address. Now we need to get the other one. And I think one more clue and we are set. And gain 3 hero points for it. And another luck point. Interesting stuff. By now it's much too late to go to work. You spend the next hour working on a batch of phenolic acid. When it's ready, you pour some of a vial and place it in your accessory belt to take with you. What now, Cure? Well, we can spend the rest of the day at the Disneyland amusement park. There's nothing there other than random chances of heroism. We can go downtown to do some shopping. So let's go ahead and do that. Strolling downtown. Your first stop at the bank is to get some cash. Next stop is a pizza parlor for a bite to eat. Meatloaf and banana, my favorite. That is disgusting. You take a stool facing out across Banner Street and watch the shoppers passing as you eat your pizza. Oh, hey, there's Drew Swain over there. Swain is a retired millionaire who made his fortune manufacturing the collection tins used by charities. He steps into a bakery. When he comes out, something strange happens. He takes a step forward and suddenly freezes, held like a statue in an off-balance pose. What's happened to Swain? A blue van draws up and obscures your view. When it drives off, he's gone. You saw it with your eyes, but it happened so quickly that you are now a long way behind the kidnappers. Now we can dash into the toilets in the back of the shop and change costume, but right now we're just going to go ahead and follow the van. You race down the street after the van. You fiends! Come back here with Mr. Swain! But by now it's long gone. Now we can go ahead and give up and resume shopping. You change back into your street clothes. Hopefully I can get a bit of peace for the rest of the day. There are plenty of shops to visit in Titan City. Two catch your eye immediately: Virgin Records and Epiphanies, the famous jewelers. Perhaps I could pick up a new record, or maybe something nice for Anne Florence? Now, if we go ahead and go to Epiphanies, we're going to find basically a jewel thief who will let us know about another incident that, once again, is very good for other heroes, but not good for the Cure. So we're just going to muck about right now and check the latest albums in Virgin Records. Heading back to the shops, you enter Virgin Records. The store is absolutely packed. What's going on? Haven't you heard? Michael Jackson's new album is out. Michael Jackson? He's my favorite singer. What is it? It's called Chiller. It's all about the spooks and ghouls. It'll be top of the pops. With such a glowing endorsement, you grab a copy before Virgin runs out of stock entirely. I can't wait to get home and listen to it. But should you check your Crime Watch first? Yeah, let's go ahead and check the Crime Watch. And zilch, which is good. And a chance to look over clues. Nothing much there. And we do have one part of the F.E.A.R meeting done. And we get 6 stamina points. Yeah, how exhausting. Being the Cure sure isn't easy. I'm relieved to finally get into bed after jamming out to Chiller. Next morning, you leave for work early. Perhaps I should leave this wretched Crime Watch behind. If I miss more work, there'll be no job to go back to. But your fears are unwarranted. To your utter amazement, the Crime Watch is silent. You manage to make it into the office before most of the staff, and you have your head down when you hear the office door slam. What kind of office am I running? People turning up late, no one does their work, and... For the first time, Jonah is speechless. At lunchtime, you catch up on the day's news on the teletext TV. 2 stories catch your attention. One is of a strange attack in Abaddon Park. A woman has been seriously mauled by what she calls a monster. However, a specialist at the hospital thinks the claw marks of an animal of some kind. The second story is of a man who had his chest crushed in the grounds of the Natural History Museum. There are no clues as to who or what was responsible, as if whatever caused the man's death simply vanished. Both incidents are being investigated by the police. Perhaps it's time for Cure to do a little investigation of his own. You change into Cure and set off to make your inquiries. Now we have the Natural History Museum and the Titan Zoo, but where we're wanting to go is Warnham and Whaley's Traveling Circus because we had that information about the lion cages. You arrive at the circus as preparations are being made for the evening's performance. Caravans are clustered around the huge big top, and round the back are the animal cages. A dwarf dressed in a clown's outfit comes running over to you as you arrive. Hello there, can you assist me with my inquiries? The dwarf honks on a bicycle horn excitedly, grabs your hand and pulls. He seems to want you to follow him. Now, we can go ahead and follow the dwarf if we want to. We can head for the important-looking caravan in the center. I haven't tried either of those options, but we definitely are going to make a beeline right for the lion cages. There are 2 lions inside the cage. They are lying contentedly on the floor, licking their paws as if they have just finished a meal. But I can't see any signs of meat in the cage. Several meters from the cage is an elephant tied to a stake. These beasts could be the killers, but do I have any evidence? Now, we can go ahead and solve the puzzle, Pat. And you can see down here, Captain Menagerie had a secret room under a lion's cage. 2 hero points for solving it on the first go. That's right, you remember earlier about the information you received. You crouch down underneath the lion cage. Sure enough, at the far end is a trap door leading up to one end of the cage, into an area which appears to be the lion's shelter. You listen at the trap door and can hear shuffling sounds coming from within. Heh, I told them they'd pay. You shove the trap door up and leap inside. Standing in the small room is a sharp-featured man with a long waxed mustache. He is dressed in a bright red suit with a large top hat. The Ringmaster! Yeah, the Ringmaster at a circus, who would have thunk it? Surrounding him, pinned to the walls, are photographs of 12 people, and several have black lines drawn across them. You recognize photographs of the woman savaged by a monster. And there's a picture of the man crushed in the grounds of the Natural History Museum, too. 12 people? Of course, the jury which condemned you to prison. What? Cure? Here?
but no one knew of my lair.
The show's over, Ringmaster. Your vendettas against justice ends today. It's time to take your final bow.
Never!
The Ringmaster leaps to his feet. And the Ringmaster cracks his whip with a stamina of 6. We'll deploy a Sonic Robo-Weasel. Maybe see if he can tame that. Ooh, apparently so. And he tries to grab for my shin. Nothing more intimidating than that. How about an infrared clinker? Ooh, okay, he's a bit nimble. No, you leave my hair alone.
My mustache!
The Ringmaster steps back and laughs nefariously.
I'm not quite finished yet.
Got ourselves a F.E.A.R card. The smoke strikes.
Exit stage left.
The Ringmaster leaps to a small door in the wall, opens it, and jumps through it, straight into the lion's cage. An evil smile spreads across his lips as you follow him.
Now, my pets, take care of this costumed fool.
What is your next move? Now, we can go ahead and fight the lions, but that's not particularly advisable, so we'll go to the utility belt. Keeping a careful eye on the advancing lions, you reach into your accessory belt for your aroma emulator. A few adjustments and... aha! The device hums and the lions stop in their tracks. They're anxious to get at the catnip. You fling your device to the back of the cage and the lions forget about you, nor will they obey their keeper's instructions.
No, wait! Stop, my pets! Come back!
Looks like they're nothing but big pussycats, Ringmaster.
Ah! Foiled by imitation catnip! This is humiliating!
The Ringmaster gives himself up. You take him back into the small room and go through his papers. 3 hero points. One scrap of paper catches your attention. A message written under the F.E.A.R seal. The note reads, "The password is Quicksilver. Memorize and destroy this message." This is certainly a useful clue. The Ringmaster had a message with the password Quicksilver. Now there's normally 3 big clues you have to get. 2 of them regards the location of the F.E.A.R meeting, and 1 is another way to get around it once you get there. You summon the police on your crime watch. For an extra 3.
Please don't send me back to prison, Cure. I can't go back there.
Certainly not, Ringmaster. You must pay for your heinous crimes.
I know. I'll give you some information. I can help and you can let me go. That's fair.
In sheer desperation, the Ringmaster starts blurting out random tidbits at you. Cases you've already solved or aren't relevant. Of course, until...
What about this? The Ice Queen, Sylvia Frost. She bought the Titan slaughterhouse recently.
And I found a clue. So, she's at the Titan slaughterhouse. Which is excellent. Now that is something of use. Relief washes over the Ringmaster's face.
Then you'll let me go?
Hardly. Take him away, officer. The Cure's a prick.
Wait, please! Don't make me go back there! I mustn't! Wait!
The Ringmaster continues wailing and begging as he's dragged off by the police. Yeesh, that guy's a few clowns short of a big top. Another job well done. You leave the circus. You keep the horrible puns to yourself. That's Cure's department. You change back into your street clothes and set off. And yet another alert from your crime watch. Okay, Jerry, where am I going this time? Museum of Egyptian Heritage. Now, we can go ahead and follow the advice and head for the Egyptian Museum downtown, but there's nothing there that interests the Cure. Nothing that will lead to any kind of clues or anything like that. I can fight the mummy, which is cool, but nothing really productive. So we'll visit Jerry the Grass as he's close by. You visit the Grass as Cure. He lives in a run-down part of town in a dirty 1-bedroom apartment. Oi, Cure! What you doing here? You gonna blow my cover? I need the latest, Jerry. Yeah, sure. You know the man-trapper, right? Sure, he's been in the papers recently. Well, he's got a guy called Sidney Knox under mind control. He goes on to tell you that Knox works at the Murdoch Nuclear Laboratories. Knox is normally quite passive and spends all of his spare time in an observation tower at the lab watching migratory birds. The man-trapper has implanted him with a post-hypnotic suggestion. So we get a clue that he likes to go to a certain spot to watch birds. But why? Beats me. Ask the man-trapper, or Knox, and get out of here. With this valuable information, you leave Jerry's apartment. And where do you go from here? We'll check the crime watch. Nada. And you remain silent, so we can go ahead and look over our clues, which we don't need to. I don't even think we got hit today. Finally, a chance to sit down after a busy day. For 6 stam, and you enjoy a good night's sleep. In the park. In the morning, you set off for a stroll. As you wander through the park, the beeping from your wrist signifies the start of your busiest day yet. Murdoch Nuclear Laboratories. You gulp. Atomic weapons experiments are conducted at the Murdoch Laboratories. I better get to Murdoch Labs without delay. This sounds like a very serious incident. At Murdoch Labs, panic is in the air when you arrive. Cure, thank goodness you're here. What seems to be the problem, Director? It's Sidney Knox. He tested our latest radiation experiments on himself. A series of controlled radiation experiments were being conducted on animals to help determine the effects of a nuclear explosion, with startling results. What kind of experiments, Director? We discovered certain radiation increased animals' intelligence. We produced a dog that could quote Shakespeare. That doesn't sound very... And that chimpanzee! Wow, he could play a mean game of Doug Dig. Beat me every time. Professor, please. Sidney Knox! The professor goes on to explain that they've speculated that similar experiments on humans would have produced much more dramatic results. This theory now has been proven to be true. Sidney Knox, one of the research assistants, had crept into the radiation chamber that morning and subjected himself to the rays. His brain is now twice its normal size, and he has the ability to manipulate objects by willpower alone. But there is an unforeseen side effect. Sidney Knox, normally a peaceful individual, has developed a destructive streak. His powers enable him to will the radiation emitter to implode and destroy itself. If he were anywhere near the nuclear reactor... I must find Sidney Knox. Destruction of the reactor would mean disaster on a grand scale for Titan City. No one knows where he is now, but the reactor must be protected at all costs. And fortunately, after talking to Jerry, we know that he likes to go to Observation Tower. He's under the man-trapper's control. You recall that Sidney likes to spend his spare time watching migratory birds. He was using an observation tower at the lab to do so, but can you find it in time? Excuse me, do you know where the observation tower is? It's vital. Certainly, just over there, up the stairs. Hoping that it may lead you to the mutant, you rush up to the room at the very top. There, staring out of the window at the huge reactor structure, is a man in a white coat with a bloated head the size of a pumpkin. You creep up behind him, deliver a blow to the back of his neck to knock him out. Opportunity Knox! With Sidney Knox unconscious, you carry him downstairs to the waiting scientists. And see, we completely avoided a fight because of that. You gain 5 hero points. You can only hope that they can find a way to either cure him or of taming his destructive urges. Though you do not realize it, you have saved perhaps the whole of Titan City from a deadly threat by capturing Sidney Knox. In appreciation of your saving the laboratory, the scientists bring you a small pen-like device. Please, take this as a gift from us, Cure. What is it? Looks like some sort of sonic-powered screwdriver. No, that would be ridiculous. It's called a circuit jammer. One of our juniors made it in their spare time. I would love to have... A sonic screwdriver would be like a holy grail to someone like the Cure. Intriguing. Why give it to me? Well, in layman's terms, Cure is not a layman, it shuts down circuitry. Any machines or villains relying on machinery will be rendered useless. Fantastic. This would be quite an ace up my sleeve against the titanium cyborg. I do not know if it's imperative for the energy blaster or the mentalist, but for the Superman character and for the Cure here, the gadgeteer, this is vital to get this device. The director beams with pride, clearly thrilled that the Institute has been able to help the Cure. Whoever intended this will have quite a tale to tell. Thank you for the gift, citizen. It just might come in handy. You leave Murdoch Laboratories, donning your disguise to blend in. And back to the city. 2nd Avenue. You see a crowd huddled around a shop window and you step up to see what's going on. It is an electrical shop and the people are staring at a television in the center of the window. A news flash is being reported by the announcer. You cannot hear what's being said, but you recognize the face on the photograph which appears briefly on the screen. It's Giorgio Schultz, better known as the Poisoner. What on earth is that pesky Poisoner up to this time? Perhaps you better go down to the police headquarters and find out. And you turn to go. Jerry the Grass is notifying you of another crime. Just what I needed. Stanley's swimming pool. You change into costume and prepare for more trouble. Now, do not go to police headquarters with this. This is another one of those situations that him as a gadgeteer is tailor-made for. So we head to the swimming pool. The doorman rushes you into the main hall where the pool is. Your jaw drops as you see the problem. The pool. It's frozen solid. Shivering swimmers stare incredulously at the block of ice that moments before they were swimming in. Oh no, those girls. They're trapped in the ice. Their cries for help are getting weaker by the minute. Time for the cure to spring into action. Now, first off, we'll go ahead and solve. And we know that Sylvia Frost, the Ice Queen, has purchased Titan Slaughterhouse. Now, Frost, you know, frozen pool. Bam. There you go. Surely this is the work of Sylvia Frost, aka the Ice Queen. The Ice Queen is known for her freezing powers, and this situation has her frosty fingerprints all over it. You are correct in your assumption. The freezing pool was no freak accident or malfunction. It was caused by the Ice Queen. Her power of freezing touch has endangered the swimmers. And there's 4 hero points. Now we can go track down the Ice Queen, and that's what people will instinctively press first. However, let's go ahead and save the swimmers. What do you say? Using some concentrated antifreeze use some concentrated antifreeze from the accessory belt. You take out the vial of concentrated antifreeze and rush out into the center of the ice. Removing the stopper, you pour it onto the ice around the 2 girls. This should soon defrost the situation, girls. A puddle of water spreads around them, and their struggles allow them to move more freely. There's another 4 hero points. Moments later, they are free, and you help them to the side of the pool, where friends are waiting with warm blankets. Now, the next move is to track down the Ice Queen, since we know she owns the slaughterhouse now. The Industrial District. You follow your clue's instructions to a seedy industrial area of town and arrive at the Titan Slaughterhouse. What sort of place is that for a supervillain like the Ice Queen? And inside, you see an Italian punching meat. The answer dawns on you as you pass a door leading to the refrigeration plant. Of course, refrigerated goods, a perfect hideout for the frosty, fiendish foe. Cautiously, you open the door and step into the freezer room. Urgh. Your breath freezes and you feel the cold at the back of your throat as you search through the sides of beef hanging in the room. So, Cure, pay me a visit, darling. You wheel around to see just who you suspect. The Ice Queen. Only to cease your callous, chilly crimes, Ice Queen. Well, I hardly think you have come to stock up on your freezer. I'm honored. Accept this as a gift. The Ice Queen sneers behind her long, platinum blonde hair. Before you have a chance to react, she shoves a side of beef towards you along a runner. Now, let's go ahead and try and use a gadget. You're about to pull out your micro laser to melt the frozen meat, but you realize it's speeding towards you too quickly. There's nothing you can do but try to leap out of the way. So we'll test the skill. And succeeded. We're getting really lucky on the skill test because occasionally they do fail. Diving out of the way in time, you avoid the frozen meat. From your accessory belt, you draw a low-powered heat laser and point it at the Ice Queen. Perhaps we should heat things up a little, Ice Queen. You press the button and send a pencil beam of heat at your foe. She winces as it stings her and holds out her hand. Cure, darling, I think it's time for you to cool off. Cool party. A similar beam of ice turns into a frozen shield which forces the laser beam back towards you. The 2 powers struggle against each other, backwards and forwards, as if both energy sources were arm wrestling. The heat is on, Ice Queen. You'll never defeat the forces of good. You won't melt my defenses that easily, Cure. But it seems to be just talk. The Ice Queen's shield dissipates. The laser's heat, which wouldn't affect an ordinary person, burns her. Ah! Please, stop, shut it off, mercy, I'll tell all. You disengage the laser. No trickery, or the laser goes back on again. No, anything but that, darling. You're searching for F.E.A.R, yes? Of course. What do you know, you villainous vixen? I don't know exactly where, but the meeting is definitely somewhere on 3rd Avenue. Now please, let me go. Aha! This is the half of the F.E.A.R meeting address. Now that you have both halves, we have the full clue. So for 3 hero points. Not so fast, Ice Queen. You'll be spending some time in the cooler. With your device trained on the Ice Queen, you bind her hands and feet. Using your crime watch, you contact the police. The police arrive to take care of the Ice Queen, and they cuff her in special frost-proof handcuffs which prevent her from using her powers. And we're just racking in the hero points. Thanks a lot, Cure. The ice cream has been causing us no end of trouble lately. It's the Ice Queen. Quiet, Ice Cream. It's back to prison for you. What a troll cop. That's awesome. Ice Queen, I'm the Ice Queen. You can't do this to me. I'm royalty. As the police take the Ice Queen away, you call out to her. Looks like your latest plan has been all fudged up. I wish I could punch you. With another job done, you leave the slaughterhouse. What a day. Perhaps you deserve a little entertainment. The Titan Tigers, a local football team, are playing the Metro Mohawks. Although I probably should find out more about F.E.A.R's activities. Will Colonel Saunders know? The Colonel is not far away from Titan City at the local army base. What's your next move? Now we can go and watch the game, and we actually fight a powerhouse who the Cure is actually at a very, very high disadvantage fighting. So let's go ahead and visit Colonel Saunders at the army base. You arrive at the army base and are escorted to see Colonel Saunders, who greets you with a warm handshake. It's Cure! You smile and give a salute. Well, this is an honor. What can we do for you? I've come to compare notes with you on the activities of F.E.A.R. If we share our knowledge... An excellent idea, Cure. Unfortunately, we've come up with nothing. We know a top-level meeting is imminent. Yes, and Otushki is the head of F.E.A.R. If we capture Otushki, the rest of the group will crumble. That's right. Until then, they are powerful and ruthless. You can count on us for help, Cure. During the conversation, you notice a distant buzzing noise which has gotten louder. Your suspicions are confirmed when an aide bursts into the room. He informs the colonel that unknown helicopters are approaching the base. What? Contact them on the radio. If they refuse to identify themselves, open fire. So what do? Let's go ahead and rush outside straight away. You rush out into the drill square with the colonel. You there! Man the guns! You! Get those defenses up! On the double! 20 F.E.A.R. choppers are headed toward the base, heavily armed. The soldiers are taking their positions. When the helicopters come into view, you can see that this is a well-organized raid, and you have a good idea as who organized it. Engage hostiles! Keep all intruders out! Amid heavy army fire, several of the choppers land within the perimeter fence. When a stocky man with a tall forehead and a black costume steps from the leading helicopter, your guess is confirmed. The Macro Brain. A product of genetic experimentation, like yourself, the Macro Brain has developed a tremendous intelligence. But unlike yourself, he has decided to further the cause of evil. A formidable combination, you think. Please, Colonel, make it easy for yourself. Surrender to the might of the Macro Brain. Never. Repel all intruders, men. On your own, there is little you could do against this well-disciplined private army. But if the Colonel's men could keep them at bay and you had the opportunity to face the Macro Brain on his own... Suddenly, a warning comes from your crime watch. Council buildings. Fast. Now, we could go to the Titan Council buildings, but that is actually a diversion. There is nothing there that's specifically made to distract you. So let's go ahead and try and get Macro Brain on his own. Now, Macro Brain is disgusting. With the Mentalist character, I played around, and if you try to fight Macro Brain, he instantly defeats you. And I don't know on how many characters he does it, but with the Cure here, you keep out of sight and follow Macro Brain's movements. Although his forces are putting up a strong fight, the army is holding them back successfully. Your opportunity arises when the Macro Brain steals away into the Colonel's office. No one else has noticed the Macro Brain. What should I do? Where do you go from here? Time to use one of the gadgets? A new gadget, but no less. Inside the Colonel's office, you find the Macro Brain leafing through the Colonel's files. A perfect chance to use my new weapon, the Alpha Wave emitter, against him. If your theory is correct, alpha waves will cause acute mental anguish in such a sensitive subject. You activate the device. The Macro Brain clutches at his eyes and spins around to face you. Ah, Cure, is this one of your devices? Why? I have no idea what you're talking about, Macro Brain. It is, isn't it? Switch it off. Immediately. You smile at his discomfort. The Alpha Wave emitter is clearly agonizing for him. Tell you what, Macro Brain. Tell me all you know about the F.E.A.R. meeting taking place soon, and I might think about turning it off. All right. The The meeting is due to take place at a dojo tomorrow. That's all I know. Now switch that damn thing off. As you wish. A valuable piece of information. You better remember this. And the final clue. That's just for clarification's sake. Switching off the device, you pin the macro-brain's arms behind his back. You march him out into the courtyard, and the sight of your hostage ends the battle quickly. The F.E.A.R troops surrender to the army. For a mighty 6 hero points. Your job completed, you return to Titan City. What now, hero? There's nothing going on the crime watch, so we'll go ahead and head home. The prospect of the F.E.A.R meeting is weighing heavily on your mind. Perhaps I should just relax this evening. It might be the only chance I get. For 6, and exhausted, you head straight to bed. The sun streams in through your apartment windows. It's another beautiful day in Titan City. You are awoken not by the alarm clock, but by a repeating message on your crime watch. F.E.A.R meeting may take place today. You must find the exact location. You spring out of bed. Today? Well, we knew that, but... Do any of the clues suggest where the meeting might be, and you may have to guess. Now, the Superman character actually had to go to Parker Airport, but we know that it's in town, so we'll stay in town. You put on your disguise and decide to stay in town. Time to track down F.E.A.R's secret meeting place. Which avenue and building number should you head towards? Perhaps a junction number could also help? So, we will solve. And 3rd Avenue and 176th Street. Of course! You remember the information you got from the Ice Queen and the decoded message. Using the information you got from them, you hastily make your way to the address where F.E.A.R's secret meeting should be located. You find yourself at the foot of a 3-story building. Mighty 9 hero points. Well, this is definitely the address, but where do I go from here? A martial arts dojo is open on the ground floor. By the front doors are stairs which go up to the other floors. A nameplate by the stair reads, Komsky & Sons, Exporters and Biochemical Engineering. Now, if we didn't know that this is a dojo, I guess most people would actually go to Komsky & Sons, but we know now to enter the dojo thanks to Macro Brain. At the dojo, you enter the martial arts dojo and search for anything out of place. One of the students walks up to you. Please come back later. We are in the middle of a class and must concentrate. The other students are looking at you annoyed. The martial arts teacher is giving you an annoyed glare. Everyone is clearly waiting for you to leave. Where do you go from here, Cure? If this is the place, maybe there's a password. And we know the password too, so... We know the Ringmaster had a message, Quicksilver. The Ringmaster had a message emblazoned with the F.E.A.R seal. Quicksilver. What did you say? You repeat the password. I see. Follow me. In the corner of the dingy pipe-filled room is a trapdoor. He opens it for you and you climb down into a small space underneath the building. A door leads off from the chamber. A light spills underneath the door and you hear voices. Soon after, the European coast shall yield to our might. You take off your disguise and prepare to enter. What now, Cure? Well, let's burst through the door. You burst through the door into a smoke-filled room, and there they are. 6 startled faces wheel round to stare at you from their seats around a conference table. You recognize all of them as agents of F.E.A.R. At the head of the table sits a man whose face you never forgot. The bald head, pointed nose, and eye goggles belong to Vladimir Otoshky, leader of F.E.A.R. So, Cure honors us with a visit. Could it be that you wish to join us? Join you? Hardly. I'm here to put an end to F.E.A.R's nefarious scheming, Otoshky, starting with you. I thought as much, friends. I will show you how F.E.A.R deals with its enemies. This puny specimen is no match for the titanium cyborg. Part man, part robot, the creature has powerful electro-assisted arms, and a pulsing glow lights up in the goggles it uses for eyes. I've got you now, Otoshky. It ends here. Does it just cure? We shall see. And what courageous action do we take next? We use the circuit jammer. You pull out the circuit jammer and press the button with a flourish. Luckily, I'm always prepared. Well, what is this? My titanium fists, my cyborg goggles, my beautiful enhancements. What have you done? We're on a level playing field now, Otoshky. Time to fight fair. Pah, fair. F.E.A.R does not know the meaning of the word. The cyborg turns to his associates. Gentlemen, Our meeting will undergo a brief recess while I take care of this meddlesome fool. And there we go. Titanium Cyborg smiles confidently with a stamina of 10. So we're going to try and hit a big shot right off the bat with a hermetically sealed helmet for that chrome dome of his. And we hit for 6. And aha! And he's going to throw me by the forehead for only 2 points of damage. That's not bad. Now only a stamina 4, so all we need to do is a vacuum-packed pain ray. I'd shudder to think how that actually works. Right in the left eye socket. Bam! Your final blow sends the Titanium Cyborg reeling. He plunges to the ground with an almighty crash. And there's a F.E.A.R card. And we got a lot of luck points. Let's go ahead and use... Yeah, let's go ahead. Fire Warriors. The others watching the fight are frightened to see their leader stripped of power so easily. Ugh. Meeting adjourned, gentlemen. You stand victorious over the fallen cyborg. The others immediately raise their hands and surrender. Where do you go from here, Cure? Now we can release him and just be a prick. I'm sure we'll get a achievement for that, but let's call in the police. The police are amazed. Single-handedly, you have defeated the most dangerous association of criminals known to the world. For 2 hero points. Cheers and whoops of joy from the citizens of Titan City fill the streets as the leaders of F.E.A.R are led away by the police. Look, everybody! It's the Cure! You're amazing. You've saved us all. 3 cheers for the Cure! There's 3 more hero points. The extent of their dastardly plan soon becomes clear. Atashki had developed the Transmitting Computer Center, which was capable of controlling the U.S. Starfire satellite orbiting the Earth. Unable to contain himself, the mad cyborg genius begins divulging his plans to the crowd and the police. I was so close. Had it not been for the interference of the Cure, I would have ruled the world. You'll never succeed as long as the Cure is around, Vladimir Atashki. A mere push of a button, and I would have been able to decimate an entire city. Such tools were never meant to be in the hands of a demented villain such as yourself. Pah! Cure ever the bleeding heart. Enjoy your brief respite, Titan City. You have not seen the last of the Titanium Cyborg. That's enough out of you. Into the police car, Atashki. For 6 hero points. The Pentagon security codes can be changed almost immediately, as the Titanium Cyborg will be closely guarded for the rest of his life. For 9 hero points. You can honestly say that you have saved the world from F.E.A.R itself. Bam! Game over. 3 quips quipped, 5 villains defeated, 10 Crime Watch alerts, 1 newspaper read, 5 slices of pizza eaten, 5 F.E.A.R cards found, and 30 Crime Watch beeps. And I believe we have enough for a final F.E.A.R card, more than 15 hero points. Would 92 be enough? Bam, for another one. For a Radiation Dog. And there we go, guys. That was Appointment of F.E.A.R. That was almost a perfect run with the Gadgeteer. I think I only got hit once, actually, during the fight. Actually, I think twice. Yeah, we got hit twice, all in all, during that entire thing. But there you go. I'm probably going to experiment off camera with some of the other ones, but I think the Cure needed retribution. The Cure struck back. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this and this little bit of closure to the series. If you liked the video, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. That'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.